So Daddy Owen has been quiet for a hot minute. If you don't know him, he is a gospel musician in Kenya. If you do know his songs, hey, you should be married. You should take your vitamins. We also knew him after his whole debacle and scandal with his ex-wife. After they parted ways in such an interesting manner. And then fast forward on his call looking for a kienyeji wife. We don't know why the call for the kienyeji wife stopped. We don't know if he eventually found a kienyeji wife. We don't know what's happening. Anyway, he has been silent for a hot minute, but he's now talking to Oga Obina on an interview and telling us how he lost one eye. You all know that when you see him, he is in shades most of the time, You know how a durag is to nameless. It's the same way sunglasses are to Daddy Owen. Anyway, he's now telling us how he lost his, eye. So the story is, what happened was, before he got saved, before he started doing gospel ministry, he used to be a thief. And a violent thief at that. The most lucrative gigs he used to do are concerts, and he used to even make fun of the fact that when the musician is saying "Wekeni mikono juu," hapo ndio business is. And he says at the time people were really prone to carrying cash, as opposed to right now we have mobile money, you have your online banking systems. People really used to rely on cash. I think these are the days where you used to go and have a conversation with somebody, say, Kathomi, we're going to meet at Kencom on Tuesday at 2 p.m. and then we have no other means of communication. And then we expect Kathami to show up at 2 p.m. at Kencom, and we have to wait an extra hour to give, maybe things happen. Technology was not on our side, pretty much at that time. Anyway, they go to a concert. He used to run with a crowd. There used to be a gang of thieves. Literally, they're doing the pickpocketing. On a good day, if you get 5 bags, that's a win for you. Anyway, unfortunately, his 40 days were up and he was caught. And the crowd, mob justice, he was beaten black and blue. And the people left him because they thought he was dead. But actually, he was not. He was just unconscious. After he woke up, one of the security guards took pity on him, put them back in that house of theirs. He rested for a few hours and then went home. But he did not know he had lost an eye for 2 days because he was swollen all over. You've been beaten black and blue, your face is swollen, your body is swollen. So when it all came down is when he realized that one eye was actually missing. He had been beaten, the eye was out. So yeah, it's actually a cautionary tale for all of you who are up here stealing from people. Don't do it. Don't do it. The fate of thieves is so cruel. As in, it's a bad idea. Even if you're suspected to be a thief, people look at you sideways. So please avoid it. Don't do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think generally mob injustice is one of those things that we probably need to have a conversation about because it can be a little bit too much. And we call it mob injustice because it is exactly that. It's a mob being unjust to someone because they've been caught for one reason or another. And I can't forget all of the dreadful images that we used to see as kids. Like some guy has been caught, he's stolen something and people would take tires and burn him alive. And you had to look at that horrible atrocity being committed. That's pretty much murder, but here we are just saying, oh, he robbed someone and therefore he deserves to die, or she deserves to die. But oftentimes it was the guys. And honestly, if you can't remember a situation wherein you witnessed something that horrific happening, like people taking out their anger on someone simply because they made a bad decision or simply because they were in a bad position and they decided to help themselves using your money. Of course, if you're the person who's been afflicted, yeah, you don't feel the same way. But regardless, imagine having killed someone simply because you were trying to exercise some form of justice simply because they stole something. If someone stole something from you, take them to the police or take back what they stole from you. What is the point of killing them? I mean, and these things still happen up until now. People still get beaten really, like you're beaten silly. And in some cases, you lose your life through a tire or two. It's very crude. Like, do you know how quickly it happens? It escalates so quickly. Guys just grab tires. Somehow someone has run and taken petrol from the, or kerosene from the petrol station. Like, the energy that is given by mob injustice is insane. If we could work that hard to make our lives better, I mean, we would have been in a very different position. But either way, we're so sorry for him for having lost his eye. But in all honesty, did he deserve it is the bigger question. Do you think that he deserved losing an eye simply because he robbed someone. And yes, as I am saying that, I can imagine that day when we were all robbed at that party. We had gone to see You Are Savage. Yeah, I will not forget.
Ole,
I will never forget.
ole.
I got robbed. God, they took everything. My tablet, which was on loan because I had lost my phone. Now I had to pay for a tablet. And my friend had done that silly thing where they carry like a wad of cash. All the money was taken. Phew. And it was money for a party and something else. So all her money was gone. It's crazy how in that moment, yes, I could have done an extreme thing. But the question still remains, do you feel like it is just, it is fair for us to go the extra mile that we normally go as Kenyans, which is mob injustice, and we end up burning someone or hurting them really badly, and all of these other things that do happen when mobs come and try and give you their form of justice? That's the question I have.